Okay, so today we're going to be doing our peer review. So you guys are familiar, you did this process for your poetic or your poem responses. So you have the praise you're going to be giving them, things they did well, things that you like. Then we're going to have for add. This is going to be a little more specific today. When you're reading through those, you're going to look at their intro. You're going to see, do they have their hook, definition, thesis, their body. You're looking at these things, transition, text evidence, citations, commentary, their conclusion. Do they restate their thesis? Do they have a call to action? Their works cited, is it in alphabetical order? Is there a hanging indent? For S, substitute, a lot of what I want you to look at is their word choice. We're going to talk about that in a minute here. But a lot of you sometimes use the same words over and over again. So maybe using a thesaurus to come up with different words. And then just any suggestions and questions. So I put one together here just as a model. So I'll read this paragraph and then show you some of the suggestions I made. Racism can also make an appearance in the workplace. The article Racism Lawsuit Targets MB Store. 2 ex-employees say they were taunted then fired after complaining explains an incident in which racist graffiti directed at 2 other workers was found on the stall door of a bathroom used by employees. The 2 men, both African American, noted this graffiti a lot. However, when they told the owners of the company, little was done to remove it. Then the 2 were fired from the company. As one of the men said, "We were fired because we were standing up for our rights." This shows how people being racist can affect others in the workplace and can even alter their lives in dramatic ways. So if I were to do that same process on this paragraph, you'll do it over a whole paper, but I'm just doing a paragraph, I would start by highlighting the first sentence. So I highlighted the sentence and I said that it's a strong topic sentence because it says racism also makes an appearance in the workplace. So I know it's about racism, and this paragraph specifically will be about the workplace. And then they also have a transition in there by putting also, so I know they're going into, this is one of the body paragraphs. So that would be a praise I would give. If I were looking for what they could add, I would come down to the bottom here. I look at this sentence. This shows how people being racist can affect others in the workplace and can even alter their lives in dramatic ways. So they have one sentence of commentary, but I think there could be more evidence or commentary that's added on. So I'm looking here and I wrote a comment that they could add more commentary, and then instead of just saying add more commentary, add a prompt or a question so they know what you mean. So I said, what are some other ways racism is seen besides through graffiti? Maybe through pay in the workplace, slang that's used in the workplace. So that's giving them ideas of what they could add. Then if I was just looking at the word choice, this is one I want you guys to look at. Many of you will use the word different 4 times in your paragraph, or you'll use different different descriptions all the time in there. For example, here they said fired 3 times. Fired, fired, fired. We don't need to say it 3 times. Let's think of other words. So I wrote a comment. You could have used let go, laid off. There's other words, so you're giving them different ideas. Or if they could use more advanced vocab. Here they said they noted this graffiti a lot. What if they said multiple occasions instead of a lot? Make it a little more advanced, a little more professional, okay? So those are types of things you're looking for as you're revising and going through that process. Make sure you just use it as a comment. You don't actually change anything on their document. You just put a comment. Are there any questions about the peer revising? So I've split you up into groups of 2, and you will share your document just like we've done in the past. You'll share your document and make a revision, You will put some peer advice on there, and they'll make revisions then on that copy once they're finished. How to get rid of these comments when you're done is to click on it, click resolve after you've changed what you need to or you've looked at it. That way the highlighting will go away, so when you print it off it'll be gone. So after you've done your revising, the last part here, this is on your table. There's a copy of the revisions, and then on the back side there's a copy of this checklist. This is the checklist you need to go through before you print anything off. So you have formatting. Do you double space it? Is it Arial and 12-point font? And then your heading, you have your name, period, teacher name, ISM research project, so that's how it should look. Things to think about. Did you, in your intro paragraph, include a definition of your ISM, a thesis statement, and a hook? We worked on that a lot in here, so you should have all those things in there. Did you use transition words or phrases at the beginning of your body paragraphs? So there's another example similarly, so you're tying in each paragraph with a transition. And then we've already worked within your conclusion. You start with a transition word or phrase in conclusion to sum up overall. We've already worked on that, so you should have that included. We talked about checking your vocabulary, just like we did up there. You're doing it on your own then too. You're looking through your paper using a thesaurus. You have a computer, you can look that up on thesaurus.com and come up with different words. The big one I want to focus on that we haven't talked about much is leading into your text evidence or paraphrasing. So did you use a signal phrase? So when you're doing this, you don't just put your paraphrase or your text evidence or quote. You don't just drop it in there. You have something that leads into it. Like, according to a certain author or a publisher, they said in the workplace racism is, so you're leading into it. You might have in the article and give an article name. If you look up here, one they used was, as one of the men said. So see how they're using a signal to kind of go into their text evidence. So that's something you want to look for when you're revising and when you're looking over your own before you turn it in. Once you're done, you can print it off and turn it in to me today or tomorrow. So